Welcome to our podcast. You're listening to Raise by Ixon at www.ixonmusic.com. Welcome to Why Complain When You Can Whine, making sense of the senseless. Three professional women attempting to make sense of toxic nonsense while drinking wine. I am Dr. Jody Larman, licensed clinical psychologist in the state of California, and therefore everything that we discuss on this and any other podcast is purely for entertainment and psychoeducational purposes only. And if you watch or listen, you would already know that. Anyways, I got this wine purely because of what it is called. It is called Psyche.
Love.
Ooh. Love it.
It is a Cabernet. I love.
You all right? You just knock yourself out?
This is why we have bruises all over us.
Oh my God, a little overzealous there. I love. Fuck me. I love the label. And now my glass is even more fitting because my glass says, I totally earned this.
But
Lord have mercy. If you ever need to be entertained, just watch all of our intros in a row. We should do that as a podcast, just our wonderful intros.
It's like an intro blooper reel for sure.
Yeah.
Totally do that.
Okay, on to you, Heather.
Hello, I'm Heather, licensed professional counselor and domestic violence survivor. Tonight I've got Talon Wines, Colorado's, Pinot Grigio, and my glass, my cup. I found this today hiding in my cabinets. Says vacay vibes.
Oh.
Because I really need a fucking vacation. And I was telling my friends in Junction today that I'm probably going to be there the first week of June, the week of Memorial Day. Oh. So be prepared, life wife, because
wait, my birthday is June 18th, bitch. So you better come out
22nd.
here.
I can come out. I will come out more than once because once it's summer, like I'm not afraid. And I have the fucking Jeep back. Then I will be driving wherever the fuck I want.
Well, if we do the 18th, 19th, 2021, that's still 5 days, because mine's the 22nd.
You just tell me what we're doing and I will be there.
Okay, done. And we're done. Did we see your glass? Oh, we did see your glass. I was distracted by the skeleton wings. Wings? Are those wings on your shoulders?
Yeah.
Oh,
fabulous. Love.
With those studs,
Yeah. Rock and roll. Hello, everyone. I am Ashley Paige, single mom, domestic violence survivor, founder of Loving Single and HautéMess Society. Tonight, I am finishing off my Fleur de Prairie bottle from last week, I believe it was. Yeah. Okay. And but first, listen, it's the only night I drink every week. So, but first I have to finish my margarita in my really cute glass that I got at Hobby Lobby.
I love it. I'm liking Hobby Lobby's little glasses.
What flavor margarita?
It's passion fruit margarita. I didn't have time to finish it, and you know, I don't want to show up too saucy, but I've like had a margarita before and like I was like scrambling. So like,
saucy,
you know, it's what we have tonight. Hot mess. Cheers.
Cheers. Another week down. Life is good.
Speaking of another week down, this week was quite peaceful.
It was like we, Ashley put out a pretty epic video on YouTube that got mass reported, taken down, and then restored. And so, but yeah,
on TikTok, not on YouTube. It's okay. I caught it. No, it was just telling, here's the thing is it was telling the story of kind of what I've gone through the last 6 months of me being silent. But more or less, it was me calling out the flagrant, disgusting, vile, toxic, abusive behavior of his flying monkeys and how they're trying to ruin my life. And I came with receipts. I came with receipts from one of Toxic Abuse Anonymous's former members who had stayed after everything and was one of their dearest and most closest friends. And they came to us and they saw what they were doing and they're like, this okay, maybe the ladies were right. Like maybe they were right. And so she brought us a whole locker full of receipts and I called him out. And it really, the post itself really had nothing to do with him. It was more about like, I see what you're doing. I'm not afraid of you. I'm calling you out. Got mass reported up the wazoo and we got it back up. And what was great about it is that I followed up my video getting taken down with another post saying, listen, I knew you were going to do this. I did it on purpose. Now I have more proof and that you're stalking me and I'm going to use it in court. And then Heather came with the backfire and she reposted it, didn't get taken down. And then my video came back up. And since then it's been relatively, I think they realized like, oh my God, they actually have.
Well,
shit on
I think
us.
they're also satisfied because I put up that one little video that said, someone's mad, bitch, go cry about it. They reported it immediately, got taken down as bullying, got put right back up. But then I put a story up of just saying my video was put back up and I took it down in within 5 minutes and it still got violated for somehow, some way, 3 times it got violated. I got 2 violations after I took it down. And then an hour later, I got another violation and for
That's a
bullying and
fucking
harassment.
TikTok weird.
I
I
have
feel-
no idea who I bullied and harassed because it had nothing to do with anybody, but
No, I just feel violated you telling me that story.
yeah, I'm so mad. I emailed, I reported a problem twice to TikTok saying, first off,
Did you see that? Hold on. Did y'all just catch that?
No.
I just spilled all over
on you?
myself. I did. You guys, we'll
You
watch.
totally missed it.
We're gonna
And you
have to
totally
watch
should
it.
have just kept
I'm
going.
sorry. I fucking all the way missed it. Just keep going.
the wonderful thing is that it's recorded, so we will see it.
We'll see it eventually.
You'll see it.
Watch it.
Okay,
But
keep
no,
going. I'm
it's
sorry.
It's so like if I put a video up and then take it down immediately, they were on that shit. Like, what do they have? Notifications as soon as we post videos. They were on that shit apparently to report it within the second I put it up because I took it down and they still violated it. And so in what way? And it wasn't even bullying or harassing. It was like, hey, my video got taken down. It's now back up. That was my whole story.
With as fast as they like report things and get things taken down, it is like, it's so toxic how much time they're spending just on our social media staring at our TikTok page is like, makes me feel really gross that they do that. I'm like, that's really gross. Like how, like stop watching like voyeurs.
I imagine it's like security, hotel security. They have someone sitting there and they have our stuff all up on cameras and they're just like,
no lie, want to make them. I have now dubbed them super fans.
They are our biggest fans. Like
my biggest fans. You are helping me the most. And not only that, but like the great thing is like when you know, at first it's very jilting and it's like, and it's very triggering. But at this point, it's just practice and training. And I'm just like, thank you for helping us. And particularly like, thank you for helping me to create the kind of advocacy posts, not just for me, but right now I'm practicing on myself, but in the future for other women and other stories where they don't get taken down and violated because you're putting us through this crazy gauntlet. That thank you for helping train me to become a better advocate. For real though, it's fantastic. Like it's free training. Thanks guys. Love you.
Yeah, seriously. It's just
I'm sorry, Heather. I am totally. But this goes into, I wanted to ask you ladies this question because of the week that I have had outside of TikTok. Just made me really think about this, especially stuff that happened today. having come out of toxic relationships where you are abused left and right, and we just kind of sadly get this learned helplessness. We, if we ever say anything, we're belittled, demeaned, told we're crazy, all of that stuff. And with everything that's happening on TikTok, do you guys, and I mean just in general and coming from a toxic, like with the toxic relationship background, when you encounter somebody in a, not just like at an amusement park or the grocery store or out to dinner, but somebody who is in a position like customer service or the doctor's office or a waitress or whatever, that's just amazingly rude to you. Do you call them out, or do you just like, okay, we're not going to see them again, we're not going to talk to them again, whatever? What do you do in that situation? And again, we can even talk about if somebody is rude to you at an amusement park or whatever, but we all go through that, where there's just people that, you open the door and they walk through and you're like, you're welcome. But I mean, I'm talking about people like if you called up a customer service person and said, hey, there was a problem with my bill, and they are just a fucking cunt.
I had an experience like this recently, but it wasn't me. I was in a session with one of my clients, and she got a phone call during the session, and she took it because it was important about scheduling an appointment for something else that she needed to get handled. And so she had the phone on speaker when she answered it, and the person introduced herself and said why she was calling. And my client, who needs things to be repeated sometimes, and asked her to like kind of repeat or ask her why she was calling, and she just suddenly, like, her attitude was super fucking rude. And it's hard because I can't say anything because one, we're in a session, there's a HIPAA thing happening here, and I just need to like not be there. But I heard it and I wanted to say something, but if it hadn't been like a client therapist thing and I had heard that happening with like a friend or a family member, I would have wanted to snatch the fucking phone and be like, excuse you, what in the fuck, like, gives you, and I get people have bad days and people don't, for me, it's sort of depends, right? Because I worked as a waitress for 17 years before I was a therapist. So I know customer service and how fucking burnt out like they are, and how rude people are to them, and how sometimes you just are done with people and doesn't matter if they're nice to you or not. And like, I can think of a million times probably where I was just like fucking done waiting on people for the day, and or they'd come in like right before close or some fucking shit, and you're just like, oh my God, like, really, right before we close, can you fucking, like, and I would just like intentionally be a cunt, so they knew how upset I was that they were there. So part of me, like, I have a little empathy for the customer service people in the world too, and so I try not to like go off on them, but
I'll go off.
I do too. Okay.
I will go off. So, but because I was a waitress in Aspen, and so it was we didn't have strikes. It was, you fuck up with a client or customer, you're done, because you never knew who you were waiting on. And we all had horrible days. And like, I had an instance with a woman on the customer service line last week, and she was being so rude to me. And I stopped in the middle and I said, excuse me. And she goes, yeah. And I said, are you okay? And she was like, what? And I said, are you okay? And she was like, why would you ask? And I said, well, because you're supposed to be helping me right now, and you are clearly agitated and irritated about something, and you're not helping me solve my problem. And I'm not working right now. You are.
And what did she do?
She goes, I like completely like, I'm sorry, I'm just having a bad day. And I said, I'm sorry that you're having a bad day. I'm having a bad day too. And I want to get you off this phone as much as I'd like to get off this phone. So
Mhm.
we just do this and work together. But then I've also had times straight up where I'm extremely like, if you catch me on a bad day, I'll match your energy
Mhm.
disrespectfully. Like,
I
I'll
wanna give you-
try. I mean, I'll be
Yes.
honest, I'll try, but I'll
Yeah.
be like, what, you know, like, and it's usually is like, if I'm not being on my A game, I'm like, what's your problem? Like, I need to speak to your manager immediately because you are in customer service and you clearly have forgotten your job title and description. Like, get me someone who can help me. I'm mean. If you're very like if you're blatantly disrespectful to me, yeah. But I've also had when a woman waited on me at a table, she literally brought me and I our bill 10 minutes after we got our food and we hadn't even started eating yet. And that was clearly she's having a horrible day. Something bad happened. And I went and spoke to the manager afterwards and I left her a $50 tip and like asked to speak with her privately. And I said, I'm going to give you a $50 tip because it's very evident you're having a bad day, but trust and believe that you're not going to get someone like me again
Yeah.
today.
That is the kind of
I
stuff
wanna-
that had me turning my fucking attitude around so many times. Like when I would have that attitude, like with people, like waiting fucking tables is rough on your mental health, right? And
I
I
want to
worked.
give you though, I want to give you guys these 3 stories really quick. One is I was talking to a social worker and I'm trying to leave a message and she's like cutting me off and cutting me off. I said, I'm trying to do this. And she keeps cutting me off. And I said, I'm sorry. Why are you being rude to me right now? And she goes, I'm being rude. I'm not being rude. And I was like, which one is it? Because I'm being very nice to you. And then she was nice after that. That's one. Today, there was someone who I was having email exchanges with, trying to rectify something. It was I don't know if it was a miscommunication, but she kept telling me that someone was trying to get a hold of me. And I said, I have no missed calls. I have nothing showing that this person is trying to get a hold of me. Sorry. And she's like, every email is getting more and more and more aggressive that I'm in the wrong, she's in the right. And I'm like, just show me how this person's trying to get a hold of me. So finally, my last email was, I do not understand. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, and you don't realize how rude you have been getting progressively in each of your emails. I understand you're irritated, so am I, but I have been nothing but civil, trying to resolve this with you. Her response was, I'm not being rude, I'm being blunt and to the point. And it was all I could do to not respond back with, bitch, you're being fucking rude. You know, and I said, we are the consumer, you are the supplier, whatever, because they're called consumers. It's works with regional center, and regional center, the client is a consumer. So you're the one that should be catering to me, and yet you're getting ruder and ruder and ruder. So I do call out, but also with a doctor. I had a medical doctor who was a fucking asshole to me. Like literally almost made me cry. He was being so mean. And I just stopped and I said, you know what? I'm the one that asked to be here. I don't know what your problem is. And I don't know why you're sitting here grilling me. I asked to come here for your help. And you're going to sit here and treat me like this? And I said, your bedside manner fucking sucks. And he was just like, and he was an elderly doctor too. He was getting ready to retire. And he's like, oh. And I said, I don't know what your problem is, but you really shouldn't be taking out on your patients. And he goes, you know what? You're not the first person that said this to me.
Well,
And I said, then why don't you fucking listen?
Yeah, for real.
And I said, as a psychologist, this going on, he goes, what is it? And I said, well, I can't diagnose you, but there's huge narcissistic tendencies right there. He's like, yeah, I've been told that. What do I do? I said to him too, I said, I can sit here and I'll charge you. I will send you a bill if you would like. We can sit and talk. But actually, he turned out to be the freaking nicest man after that and wrote a really good work comp report. But it was like nobody, I guess, had called him on, are you fucking kidding me? I mean, I try to be nice when I call people out, but just like you said, Ashley, there's times where it's like you can't be nice. And
No, you can be professional while you, not even necessarily professional, but you can still be to a degree respectful
yeah,
when you, but it's also like, listen, I think too, it has a lot to do with my survivorship of
that's
me
why
being
I asked. Yeah.
tired of being a fucking doormat and like just feeling the need to take everyone's shit and feeling like I don't want to upset them.
Mhm.
You know, I've gone through different, like varying, like, and you guys can interject if you agree or disagree, but I've gone through varying degrees of my healing on speaking out for myself. And I went through a phase of like serious anger and like backlashing where I couldn't control myself. And it just was like, if I felt any inkling of disrespect, I was like, "Rah," like all over it. And now I've learned to kind of like be like, they're projecting. It's not me. I didn't do anything. However, I'm not going to let you talk to me like this. But I think I'm more forceful with men because it's such a significant trigger. If a
Mhm.
woman does it, I'll try and like guide her through common decency. But if it's a man, I will just immediately like nip that shit in the bud.
And see, that's why I ask, as far as people who have been in toxic relationships, it seems like initially you might be inclined to let people still continue. And then I think there's this switch of, oh, fuck no. I'm done. Heather, did you, when your client was off the phone, did you mention anything about assertiveness, or did you just kind of, I'm not part of this, I'm not gonna?
I did not need to mention to my client to be assertive because she is hella assertive on her own. She handled that really well. But she wanted like some validation from me that she wasn't being rude first or rude back. And I was like, no, she was being a fucking cunt. So that I didn't, yeah, that was the only feedback I had for her was, yeah, you were totally valid in your response.
Total side note. I don't mean to deviate, but I just now noticed how dope your fucking earrings are. Can we take a minute?
The spiders.
Those are so cool.
These are my spitters.
I love them, girl. You rocking tonight. Anyways, keep going.
Thank you. Yeah, I think in terms of if I connect my responses to people in community in customer service to my response to toxic people in relationships, like I'm very similar in that I always start with fucking empathy. I always start with like compassion and empathy, and then if that doesn't work, then it's fuck off, fuck you, I'm out. So but I did years ago when I was working as a co-responder with law enforcement, and law enforcement is their own level of service, and nobody's ever really happy to see them, even when they get called. So there's like there's a crisis intervention training that I did to be a co-responder with them to help like with de-escalation and things like that. And so I was told during this like 40-hour really intensive fucking training where they hired paid actors to be like people in mental health crisis, and we were supposed to de-escalate that crisis, and it was very hard because these actors were way intense. I just remember being told and getting the feedback on how much patience I have. Like I am incredibly fucking patient, and that has been my downfall in relationships with toxic pieces of shit, is that I let shit slide for a long ass fucking time, and just even if it's to my detriment and I'm getting used and walked all over and taken advantage of, I'm just so fucking patient that I can stand in it for a really long time in the fire before I feel the burn. And like,
So the burn, do you explode, or is it still kind of
like there's like when it just sort of depends on the situation. Like when I'm working with law enforcement and I have to be in a place where I'm treating people with dignity and respect, no matter how fucking awful they are to me, because that's the role I'm in, then my patience can go on and on and on and on. Like it's insane. Like they're like, geez almighty, like you could have this conversation with this very in crisis person for like way longer than most people can, who would finally just be like, that's it, I'm taking control of the situation. But I'm very give and take and like can manage things for a long time in a crisis. But in like my own personal crisis, if I'm just getting walked all over and treated like shit, like by the time that burn hits, there's like a fury that comes out of me. That's like, that is the fucking it. Like, and I'm burning everything to the ground. Burn it all down. That's what I do.
But would you say though, like that comes from a certain level of, I don't know how to phrase this properly, but if you've been in like very abusive relationships for long enough, you're aware of, even if you don't know what it's called, you're very aware of the push-pull effects of reactive abuse and our ability to cope, explode.
Yeah.
And so like I'm like that with people where I'll be very, very patient, and then it's like a freaking volcano when I feel like people are just like disregard and disrespect to no end, and I'm not getting anywhere. Do you think that social media kind of has like caused us to forget those like communication, coping, patience skills with people because we're so used to being behind our keyboards that we just say what we want to say regardless of how mean it is, that we've forgotten how to interact with people?
Oh, absolutely. Because even on social media, when you say to someone, wow, why are you being rude? They're like, fucking bitch, I ain't being rude. It's like,
It's so true. There's no middle ground. There's no gray area. It's either fuck you, bitch, or hey, why you gotta be so mean?
It's very, very black and white on social media.
and social media has also made it so much more acceptable to be like, bitch, why are you wearing that hat? It looks stupid on your fucking fake hair.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I mean, shit that you would never say to anybody's face. Like you would never say that to anyone's face, but you feel super comfortable behind your little keyboard to say whatever you like. And it's like, I don't know from like a psychological perspective what that's about, where people, is that healthy for people? Do people need that outlet to be just fucking dicks to people online? Or is it like what's going on with people that is even like the cyberbullying thing is even so extreme? Like it's really divisive. And I know that social media likes things being divisive. And so they'll just like, today I was getting like a whole lot of fucking shit on my For You page on TikTok that was like shit that I just pisses me off. Like, I'm like, God damn it. Like you're feeding me stuff that, you know, I'm going to comment some shit and be mad about because I have to say something. And then you're going to give me more of that shit because I commented on that shit. So now I have to see more shit. And so the divisiveness, it gets fed upon you. And like, and Facebook too is really fucking divisive. I hate Facebook for that reason, but like, what is it like other than that it keeps us fucking addicted to that platform? Like, why psychologically do we feel the need to just fucking say shit to people that we would never say to their face?
Me personally, I think part of it is the same people who are abusive in general are going to be even more abusive across the board because nobody sees them, nobody knows them, but also people who have been not necessarily bullied, but abused, if you will, or have taken the abuse now can just feel free and no one is going to necessarily abuse them back. So it's kind of a displaced, just like me being able to talk shit with inmates they can sit and just make comments and get out all that reactive, displaced stuff.
That's totally how I feel about it, because like when I get real spicy on there with people and like I'm just crunchy, like I'm like, I would have never said that to
Spicy
that
and
person's
crunchy.
face. Like I wouldn't have said that to their face probably. Like
You know-
I'm not, like outright fucking mean, but I'm like, this is really gross. Like I said that on someone's video today. I was like, this whole trend is really gross to me. Like basically
What
like
was the trend?
it's the one where it's that new song, that like awesome women empowerment song, the Chinchilla song, and the very right, like Christian women are on there saying, don't call me cisgender, don't call me chest feeder or a
I
bird,
don't,
and I'm a woman, and like it's really like don't take my identity just because you couldn't cut it as a man.
see,
And-
here's the thing. A woman has a right to say, don't call me cisgender. A woman has a right to say, I'm not a birthing. What is it? What do they call them?
They were like
No. It's like a birth giver or something like that instead of a mother, and also
Yeah.
chest feeder instead of breastfeeder. I'm allowed to fucking say that. But you border, then when you say things, that last sentence that they say, just because that's the abusive statement, that's taking the power away from women and being able to be women empowerment. And now you're stepping into abusive commentary, which is my thing is, it is okay and perfectly necessary for you to say, don't call me cisgender. I don't like that. It's okay for you to say I'm breastfeeding. It's okay for you to say I'm a mother. But then when you go on to the attack mode of the person, that's when you're bordering into the abusive behavior, and that's where it's unnecessary. I've seen a bunch of those today, and they had me with the first 3 sentences, and I'm like, cool, I don't
like okay, like
I don't want to be called a cisgender woman. I'm a woman.
right.
Okay.
People can identify however they want.
But then when it goes into the abusive, I totally agree with you on that. Like you don't need to tear someone down in order for you to stand in your power.
Exactly.
You don't have to.
And that's why I think the trend is gross. I'm like, this trend is gross. This is gross.
And you don't have to, and this is where I'm asking about calling people out too, because you can call people out without being abusive. You can call people out without stooping to even lower that than they are.
Yeah.
Because once you become abusive, you're just as abusive as they are.
And I will say, dare I, circling back to the initial conversation, there have been times when I've been really frustrated because initially when the whole thing went down with Toxic Abuse Anonymous, I handled it in the most professional, decent way possible. I didn't say anything negative about him. I didn't call him any names. I didn't share any public information. And the constant badgering, abuse, defamation, slander, false accusations, legal, vexatious litigation, the calling CPS because they just want to hurt my daughter, hacking into my Facebook account, the constant trying to ruin my social media accounts for advocacy work, the donkey pictures, the horse pictures, like making fun of me for whatever reason, that a person can take that for so long before they're just like, boom. And so oddly enough, the entire thing, this whole conversation circles back to, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine and I said, I just realized this last week that what they've been doing to me is reactive abuse. And what they've done to Heather, what they've done to Jody, the constant poking of the bear to get us to give them a certain response, to get us to post certain things on social media. And we've still held back. Last week we had a lot of fun during that episode. We had some great laughs. We told some funny jokes. They weren't directed at that person specifically. But that's what they're trying to do, is when they attack your character and the professionalism and everything doesn't work, then they're going to keep going and going and going, so that you'll stoop down to their level, so that they can say, see,
I was
you're
right.
an abuser. You're an abuser.
Like they called us what a sham that group of women are. It's disgusting. Like, okay.
And then the relentless hours that they've spent doxing my family, or attacking Heather's license, or going after Jody or myself. And then they have the audacity to say, shouldn't it be advocacy work? What do you think this whole fucking thing is? What do you think this vexatious litigation is? It was one woman who was partners with a predator who spoke out on behalf of all these other women, and now I'm going through legal abuse. What the fuck kind of advocacy? Do you not know what advocacy work is? It's us willing to face this kind of bullshit in order to do what's right. Anyways.
Yeah, they don't understand it. And our response to get defensive and finally, like, you know, be like, fuck it, we're going public with this.
None of us have been abusive though. That's what
I was just about to say was like, it's not abusive. It's not even like our response to being fucking smeared and like having Ashley be attacked via the legal system and us be threatened via legal action every time we fucking, you know, would say something out loud about the misinformation that he was spreading on TikTok, was like, the response is, it's like, we could have just been like, okay, we'll just be quiet. And then, oh my God, who the fuck do you think you're talking to?
No.
First of all, and so, like, and so it wasn't necessarily reactive abuse. I don't think that we have been.
No, they're trying to get us to be.
They're definitely poking the bear in that sense, but everything that we have done has been just to go public and say, you know what, this is the truth about what's going on here. We're not fucking scared of him. We're not fucking scared of the 5 of you. And here's all the truth, and we're going to share it with the public, and the public can do with it as they please.
However, I mean, I will say this, to a degree, it is reactive abuse. So here's why I say that, is because every single little tiny thing that they could twist and manipulate into making us look abusive. For example, 80 pages, Heather, of a motion for a stalking of injunction against you, of you speaking out. And everything that they said, like, oh, look at her, she's doing this. Oh, look, she posted this recorded conversation. Oh, look, her on social media, her anger, her like this, that, the other thing. Oh, look at them speaking out about us on the podcast. They're utilizing it as a form of reactive abuse, because they antagonize us to the point where, like, we tried to stay quiet about this, but the fact that you're doing this is causing us to speak up louder. It's like they're twisting it and villainizing what we're doing, even though, even still in our frustration, we've been able to manage professionalism and tact the best of our ability.
But
I don't even think it's, I'm still going to challenge that again, because I still don't even think that they're trying to make us do reactive abuse. I think that they genuinely believe we're the abusers still. Like he has brainwashed them into thinking that you and me and Jody were all just are trying to steal the company from him, and like that we're the abusers and we're like the toxic ones. I remember even in that Zoom call, that Zoom town hall that we did initially to tell the members what was going on, that one of those little flying monkeys was like, Ashley toxic, Heather toxic, man, and like whatever, and like had like a little attitude with us that day. And like we didn't react to that. Like they tried really hard in that Zoom to make us react to things. I don't think they they see themselves as abusive. I don't think they see Adam as abusive. I think they're brainwashed enough to think that we're the abusive ones and that what they are doing is justified.
But isn't that what they always do though? They
But
always
yeah,
say
I think it's both.
justified.
I think you're both saying the same thing actually, because abusers think they're justified. Abusers think everything they're doing is justified and it's not abuse.
Right.
So everything that they're doing, yeah, but abusers also, the second you do anything, they push you and push you and push you. Even if they think they're right, they push you. And then the minute you react, you're the abuser. See, you're the abuser. These guys are pushing and pushing and pushing, being rude, if you will. I'm just going to go back to the original if someone's being rude. And then the minute we say anything to the point of, hey, you guys are being rude, bullying and harassment. They are on it, bullying and harassment.
It's true though, even in certain degrees, when you do this with a person in public, customer service, whatever, all of a sudden now I'm the rude client. You're gonna go spit in my food or something.
Yeah. Oh my God, I cannot tell you how many times I'll say something to a waitress and then she walks away and I'm like, please don't spit in my food. Please don't. I was a waitress. No, I never spit in people's food.
I never spit.
Nor
in
did I. I've witnessed people spit in other people's food, but I've
licked their forks. No, I have not done that either. Just kidding. No, as a cocktail waitress, I drank their drinks. I did none of those things. But just saying.
No, Jody, I'm starting to wonder.
I know, Jody. She confessed and then she recanted, which makes me, I don't know.
I have this internal little, this is what I've done, but it doesn't come out.
It's one of those things where you do it in your imagination and then you wake up and you're like, oh no, not gonna
I'm not gonna do it. I picture myself doing it, but no, I'm not gonna do it. But literally these guys, this is the thing. These guys sit there and even if they said something 3 months ago, right? And we found out about it last week. They're waiting because they're expecting us to be abusive, to be the people that they think we are. That's why abusive people, what do they say to you? You're the crazy one. You're the abuser. Abusive people, I don't know anyone, to be honest. I don't want to say everybody, but I have yet to meet someone from an abusive relationship that wasn't wondering if they were the abuser, that wasn't wondering if they were the narcissist, that wasn't wondering, were they the bad person? Because the abuser has told them enough times that it is you, not me. So these guys are doing the same thing. The three of us are abusers. We are horrible, horrible, horrible people. And the minute we post anything, abuse, bullying, harassment, and they 150%, which doesn't make sense, but I'm still going to say it, believe that we are the abusers.
Nah. Yep. You're right. You're right. And we're not. I'm saying nah, we're not. We just like warning the public about abusive people, and you don't like that you're part of those people. Like that's the issue. Is like,
well, the thing is
that you're part of the wrong side.
You know, and they didn't mind us saying the exact same things about their exes.
Right.
What they minded is us saying the exact same things about the man that they fell in love with and created an unhealthy attachment to. And we were calling them out. And so how dare you? Now I must defend and protect my imaginary boyfriend.
My imaginary boyfriend, my fearless leader, I don't know, like they worship the ground he walks on like he's doing anything.
And I'm sorry if there are over a dozen women that are complaining about someone who has made them feel uncomfortable, who has invited them to their home in Florida and has literally taken their position of trust and broken that. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry.
Even what one should have been enough for them, but
yeah. If you are truly coming from an abusive relationship, if you have truly been abused, fucked over, devalued, mind fucked left and right, demeaned, gaslit, all of that stuff, hearing just one person saying, holy shit, this is happening, would make me, at least, if I was this, in this separately. I mean, I even was, you guys told me, I would be like, oh shit, I should probably pay some better attention here, because this is not okay.
Yeah. Yep.
And there is a way, and this is the one thing about being survivors coming from a toxic relationship, when you get to a certain point, hopefully for most people, hopefully for everyone, but where you can not be reactive abuse, not that was so grammatically horrible, not succumb to reactive abuse.
Here's the wine kicking in.
That you can say, I can say what I need to say without being abusive. And that's what we're doing. We are not being abusive. You can call people out. Like today when I did that email and I said, perhaps you don't realize that you are getting ruder and ruder and ruder. So I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. You can say shit without being abusive. And the nice thing is I honestly believe, and I'm not just saying this because it's us, we have been doing that.
Mhm.
We have said, this is the truth. This is what happened. This is it. This is all. There's nothing abusive about that.
No.
Yeah, exactly. What is abusive is using the legal system to try and silence us or punish us for speaking the truth. That's abusive.
And you know what? Even using the legal system in and of itself wouldn't be abusive if the facts were there. But using the legal system, because it's free, if you get there first and claim domestic violence with 80 pages of fucking screenshots that mean absolutely nothing, and then claim that they're all saying abusive, mean stuff about you.
No, to him. He's saying these are directed at him.
But I'll just end the whole fucking argument right here. Okay. I have, and this is not a brag fest, I have 370,000 followers on TikTok, almost 20,000 on Instagram, like 6,000 on Facebook. Okay. And I have had people say shit about me. And listen, unless I've directed my close family and friends to posts, they have no fucking clue what anyone is saying about me, unless I literally copy the link and send it to my family and say, oh, look what someone's saying about me. So the fact that there's so much pretension, like he's so pretentious that he's like, my family and my friends and my kids.
How do I explain
this to them? Well, you wouldn't have to explain it to them if you didn't send it to them.
Yeah, because excuse me, did he not say, his son not say, he doesn't know what TikTok is?
No, listen, he's creating a false narrative. And the thing is if I actually did something wrong, it's not that hard. I know, like I've received videos from people of him saying like, it's really hard to get a restraining order and I should teach classes about this. My lawyer and I laughed really hard at that one.
I posted that.
Wasn't one of his.
But the thing is, it's not hard to get a restraining order when you actually have proof. And my thing is if you go to court and you're going to write 70 pages about me and I can literally disprove with evidence that everything you said was a lie, and I can also disprove your entire testimony on the stand with documented evidence that it's also a lie, then you're committing legal abuse.
Yeah.
He's totally.
Not only that, but if you take all these screenshots with just screenshots, you can take screenshots and say, this screenshot and say, we were talking about planning a coup of Colombia. If you're just gonna take the screenshot for their face value, you can make it say anything.
Yeah. I cannot wait. I cannot wait until this is over, because like we could spend like just with Ashley's and the motions that he's filed and the petitions themselves, just going through those and reading
Oh,
some
God,
of
that
the
would be-
nonsense that he wrote. It's like
And one of the other things that I've discussed with my lawyer about why he's gone the domestic violence route is because he thinks that when you go the DV route, that all those documents are confidential and they can't be shared. Well, they can be once your case has been disproven and then it's been proven to be vexatious litigation. And that's one of the reasons why he's gone the route he has, is because I can't actually share at this point the motion, the hilarious lies and stories that he tells that are just literally where we have proof that not even he wrote the initial petition for the injunction, but one of the people on his team wrote it, which explains why the times, what are they? The time slots he gave us are
wrong.
the timestamps were not only were they weren't wrong, but there was actually
Nothing there.
he made up.
Yeah.
And we know the name of the person that wrote the initial injunction, and it's hysterical. We have proof of all this. So like, I'm just curious, like, what's the judge going to think of that?
And again, we went to every timestamp and went seconds before, seconds after. And what he put was said at the timestamp wasn't even anywhere near like you.
It wasn't even in there.
No,
It was
it wasn't.
completely make believe. Every timestamp had absolutely nothing to do with what we were actually saying. Now, a judge should literally listen. They don't even have to listen to the whole thing. Just go to each timestamp and see that.
It's okay. She won't even have to, because like I said, and I think the last episode, we hire professional transcribers. So we'll be able to tell the judge exactly what was said during
what
that
was
time.
said and where. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, he's made up so many lies and stories that he probably can't even keep track of, that he's discredited himself so many times that there's no way
And
that a
Jody,
judge is gonna be like, I mean,
Jody was
but like, no way.
Jody was so helpful in discrediting him too when he emailed her. And then
After he
remember when we weren't allowed to be talking, and Jody literally received an email and then she immediately sent it to me. And listen, I wasn't allowed to talk to them, but they weren't barred from emailing me. I just couldn't talk to them. So Jody had a really
and what does us
aggressive,
talking to each other have to do with stalking?
Nothing.
Nothing. That was just
vexatious litigation.
Let's just put some context. I posted a video on TikTok of, like I do with many creators. I just posted a video today about stitching a creator that is like, are you fucking kidding me? So this person, he put up a video.
Adam, we've called him Adam a million times. They know who he is.
I know, but I just
had Tom last time.
I just hate saying it. But he put up a video discussing medical information with psychology that was so wrong. Like I couldn't not say anything. No matter who the creator was, I would have made a video. So I made a video and I didn't say anything to him. I said, my guy, Google is free. And I just showed Google even showing how he was wrong.
Mhm.
Yeah, I got a really, let's just say the email started with subject line, do your own fucking research.
And he started by commenting, like he was in your comment section from fake accounts first. He was in the legal account going crazy in your comment section before he sent the email. And I was like, I know this is you. Go away. Leave us alone. He's like, oh, you're delusional thinking that it's this man you're obsessed with. Yeah, no, I know it's you. I know it's go away. And then seconds later, you get this fucking email from him.
Do
I'm like,
your own fucking research. As soon as I saw that email in my inbox, I just forwarded it to Ashley as I'm reading it.
Yep.
Thank you so much for that email.
Thank you. Well, and then what's funny is I was like, ooh, like I have no idea what was going on. And what's funny is I read it and I was like, forward to Richard, my attorney, and he was like, ooh, and he literally used it as a court document
Yeah,
and literally
filed
it as evidence, proving his discrediting his own argument because he lied in that and said that I was in court for 3 hours. Mind you, the court hearing was only 30 minutes and I was not there. And the judge did not hear a damn thing I said because I wasn't there. And he lied about the whole thing. And my attorney was like, see, he's a liar. All he does is lie.
In that email twice, he threatened to add me to the lawsuit.
Yep. I'm going to enjoin you in her stalking.
I'm going to enjoin you in my domestic violence.
When can I read it? When am I allowed to read it? Because
I don't. Oh, I'm sure you could read your email. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I can't give you legal advice.
Oh yeah,
I really want to.
I even sent your response to the email in my motion to dismiss, which is
my response is leave me the fuck alone. You're blocked everywhere.
Yeah, your response that was like, you just admitted that you're cyber stalking me and Heather. Yep. You very much just admitted that. Leave me alone, or we're going to report you to authorities. And guess what? We did. We fucking made FBI reports.
He did in that email. He did admit that his flying monkeys, I've told them to stop.
I told them to stop. You just admitted.
Yeah.
And that's a lie. We know you haven't told them to stop. You're the one who's like, we know.
That is
Zooms. We know what happened in your
That Zooms. Is the only screenshots I have not, like, that has not been given to us. And by the way, no one ever asked for anything. People have just come to us and been like, hey, here. And we also
jumped on with like video recordings of his lives, all of that stuff that I posted.
And we have proof. We have screenshots saying like, hey, I don't know if you would even want to talk to me after what I did. And I'm so sorry for how I attacked you, but I have this and I want to send it to you. So we have those to prove that we never even asked for anything. People just sent us shit. But what's funny is the only thing I have not seen are screenshots of him telling people, leave them alone.
Yeah.
I haven't seen evidence at all.
You know what though?
Evidence. He has screenshots of our fucking TikTok accounts. He's like, they're stalking me.
I do want to say, since we know they're watching, thank you so much, because all of that also went to the FBI.
Oh, it's so much evidence. And I had someone comment on my last post, you're smiling as if you know something they don't. And I went, I do.
Because we do. I keep thinking I'm going to bring it down, and I don't want to get up while we're doing this because I already bent down to plug in my computer, came out. But I want to show, because if they're saying, oh, yo, she's saying the FBI, I have the FBI report. I can show you it was filed twice. It was filed and then added to. So we've each got 2 reports with the FBI. LAPD knows about it because I am in LA. The detectives know about it.
Knows about it.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you Fort Lauderdale or somebody over there.
Well, where
is investigating him, because nobody's investigating me too. Like all these multiple hundreds of felonies that he's saying that we've all committed, nobody's been talking to us. So
no, and my police department knows about it. The officer that handed me the injunction was, I don't know if I mentioned this, was also one of the officers that came to help me with my ex. And he goes, what the fuck is this? He goes, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Like, I was like, I've never met this man. And he goes, oh my God. He was like, you would never get away with this in Colorado. No, sir, he would not.
No, he
But
wouldn't.
my police department knows all about it. I know the New York Police Department is aware. It's been
Yeah.
reported to FBI several times. And that's not to say that they haven't done anything. That's to say that this is a rather large investigation.
Yeah,
Let's
like
see,
that
and-
we have not just been like taking the legal abuse line down, like we are getting authorities involved too.
And let's see, this is from a detective saying, let me know who in the FBI you spoke with and I can provide follow-up. And then asking, wait, did you say that the suspect is from Florida? And then there's all the information giving them, the detectives, the Florida information.
Listen, survivors don't take no shit lying down. We fight standing up. And if you knock us down, we'll fight from the ground too.
Yep.
Like, I'll be scrappy, man. I will be scrappy.
Mhm.
Perfectly legally scrappy, but I'll be scrappy.
I'm rough and
And
tough.
that is the thing. That's like going back to the beginning of, you do not have to be rude to get your point across. You do not have to be rude to call people out. You do not have to be abusive to call people out, abusive people out. We are going about it in a totally non-abusive, non-reactive, very legal manner, like we're supposed to.
I mean, it's kind of like being a parent of a wild, unruly toddler, and they just like freak out, and you just like pick them up and put them in their room and say, I can't deal with you while you're having this freak out. And then the toddler comes screaming and crying, and then you pick them back up and you're like, I can't deal with you. And you just keep going back and forth. That doesn't make you an abusive parent. That just means you're not going to put up with no shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we are doing what we are supposed to be doing. You want to keep poking the fucking bear. Eventually, well, I mean, I would say we would escalate it, but we've already escalated it to the FBI. And it's already, you
It
know,
doesn't get more escalated than that.
yeah.
Oh my God.
Federal shit now.
When shit went down this week with me posting about my story, remember how last week I said there was a couple of media outlets that have picked up the story and they're just waiting for permission from my lawyer. And they saw that story of me saying I've been silent, and they're like, oh my God, does that mean I can? And I'm like, not yet. We're waiting for the right time, because there's a right time and we haven't approached it, but please, like, we're just wait. It's fine.
Mhm.
That's how you handle this.
If you want, I can put the videos in here so people can see in case they weren't on TikTok or wondering or whatever. We'll put the video at the end of this or the middle of this or somewhere in it so you guys can see the video.
Mhm.
Shut up. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Good.
gonna get out. Our videos are gonna get out there. What they don't understand too is, if you want to report for bullying and harassment, the video is gonna show up here.
I that's my thing. You silence me in one place, I'm just gonna put it everywhere then, friend.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Because you can only you're not no. And the great thing is, like, the new community guidelines with TikTok. I shouldn't say this, but I'm gonna anyway. The great thing about the new community guidelines and violations with TikTok is when you get a violation and then you submit an appeal and they find no violation, they remove the past violation.
Mhm.
Which they
So-
didn't do.
So when they do that, they remove all your violations. And so it's like, you're trying to get us banned. You're trying to silence us. And even if man, Barry Paul inspired me so much this week.
Yes.
If you don't follow him on TikTok, go follow him. He's another advocate. He's been banned 8 times from people like this who are just trying to silence him. And I love what he said. He was like, initially, I didn't even know I was banned. I was enjoying a good weekend with my boyfriend. And, I had no idea until some of you guys let me know. And, I'm back. You can't silence me.
No.
And here's the thing. I always thought if someone hates you, that's a bad thing. But then again, I've learned as I've gotten older and wiser, thank God, and been through abuse and all that, the worst possible thing in life is for apathy. When someone does not literally give two shits about you, like there's people out there that are thinking about us 24/7,
Feeling the love.
24/7
My
that
biggest
are like
fans.
glued to their fucking computers on our TikTok videos. And we are just living life.
Mhm.
We have so much power.
I'm telling you,
Cool.
if you hated me, you would go no contact with me. Bitch, you love me.
Yeah, you're a fan.
Hate is
You're
a
a fan.
feeling. Hate is an emotion. If I don't care about you, like literally, I don't even know you exist.
God, I would
That's
love it.
worse.
I
That
would,
is the worst thing.
unless you're healthy, in which case I would love it if they didn't give a fuck about me anymore.
Right. Please be indifferent about us already.
Yeah.
God,
Even
we're indifferent about
he
you.
he even used to say this all the time. The opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference. And the
Yeah.
worst thing,
He got that from me.
Got that from a song.
well, I don't know, Heather, if he got that from you, because he used to tell me, he told me that in like February of last year
It's
before.
a song lyric too.
But
tell you
he
the
told
He
me
got that from me on one of his fucking lives.
well, but he told me that before we opened the community. So I don't know if he got it from you. Because we
I
got
was
into
around before then. I just wasn't in the community. I was on the lives though.
in February. Well, it was like in February because it was before I started building it. And
I'm just saying.
I
I
remember him.
remember the live where he was saying that. He's like, "What is the opposite of whatever?" I think.
Well,
Allah
because
said
well,
it.
because hold on though,
The
because
Lumineers.
we
The
got
Lumineers
into
still
a
alive.
huge argument about colors. And because I do branding, and he was like, what's the black and white? We got into a huge argument about that. And then that's when he did the whole love, hate, and difference thing. And I remember him saying to me, the worst thing that you could do to me is not hate me. I would be okay if you hated me. I would not be okay if you were indifferent to me. And to a degree, I think that that's part of why he's doing what he's doing, is because he cannot,
Yeah.
he can't handle us being indifferent. So he has to keep giving us
No.
reasons to talk about it.
But the opposite of love being indifference is from the Lumineers. It's literally a lyric in the Lumineers song that I think most people have heard before.
Yeah.
It's called Stubborn Love. I don't know if you guys can hear it or not.
And I'm not taking that from you, Heather. I just remember him saying,
Can you hear this?
It's kind of like a well-known thing. Like, I think it's not, I mean, I remember hearing it from somewhere too. So it's not like original.
Oh man, many years ago, like when I was first going out with my ex, I was like, fuck. And I put a post on Facebook saying, I wish I could be apathetic, but I couldn't care less.
yeah.
But I want to be apathetic because apathetic is so much better than hating someone, loving someone, thinking about someone, having contempt for someone. If you do not give two shit, like think about all the people right now that you don't know, like you have no idea that they exist or not. And then you meet someone and you like them, and that very next day, all you do is think about them, like, fuck. That's power that they have over you that they didn't have yesterday because you didn't even know two shits about them, that they existed. So the fact that they are watching us like a hawk, get a fucking life.
I feel sorry for them, but listen, it's going to be okay because I'll see them all in Florida in July.
So, I'm gonna say on that note, that's a perfect note. See you in the summer.
With Heather. Jody, are you coming to Florida?
I'm gonna do my damnedest to get there.
I just talked to two other people today who are also coming to Florida.
I'm gonna do whatever I can to get there. Absolutely, yes. Because
Shouldn't
I
have-
would love for us to just
Shouldn't have demanded I come to Florida because I'm coming with a whole party.
yeah.
It's gonna be kick ass. We're gonna have a great time.
And I have a really good
You're gonna pull out your middle finger. Oh shit. I think I got something in my pocket.
no, I have been known to just give the glare.
I think, yeah, majority of
All
women.
moms can do that too, I think. Well, not all moms, but working with inmates too, perfected that. Don't fuck with me. You work with criminal justice, you work with parolees, yeah. You get that look of, I see you, motherfucker. You don't own me, I own you.
Heather's got it down pat. I just saw her giving it. I was like, damn.
Right now, I probably would die.
I'll tell you what, there's nothing better than showing up with a group of women for us just to stand in our power and have controlled silence so that we can have.
Then the interesting thing is, I think, not even looking at him.
Johnny, a full Johnny Depp. Because I know, because he's playing the role of his own lawyer. And if he says, you need to look at me, I'll be like, no, I don't. And I'll just look at Richard the whole fucking time.
None of us will look at him. None of us. That would drive.
I didn't look at my ex when he got sent
fucking
to
up the
prison. You
wall.
think I'm gonna look at that motherfucker?
I don't have to look at nobody. I can close my eyes.
Yeah. Because, again, you do not exist is the worst thing. We'll get the darkest sunglasses that we can.
See me.
Actually, I think we should all sit behind
The
him.
worst thing that you could do is demand for me to go to court. And even though there was no ruling, I'll still go.
We're
already going.
Never responds to motions. So
She doesn't respond. I'm not gonna say anything.
She doesn't respond to anybody. She doesn't respond to anybody. I don't even think it's like that she's playing. She doesn't respond to anybody. So whatever.
But yeah, it'll be.
It's a girls' trip, and
I'm excited because this is literally going to be the last fucking time I step foot in that motherfucking state. Seriously, because there are so many reasons I hate Florida right now. So, which is tragic.
I told my daughter, I was like, from here on out, when we go to Disney World, it will be in Paris, okay? Because
Florida, you have potential, but
get your ass to California and come over.
Well, that's Disney World, to be fair. I mean, Disneyland.
Yeah.
But there's a Disney World in Paris.
I know there is, and Shanghai, and Hong Kong, and Tokyo. And
I'm not interested in any of that.
all.
I just want to go to a beach.
Listen, we're going to the beach this summer. We're gonna have a great time.
We're gonna have some. Oh my god, this summer is gonna be epic. We're gonna make TikTok videos that are just gonna be so epic.
We'll do a whole podcast episode in Florida.
Yeah.
The final Florida trip.
And you know what? Honestly, it's not going to be hot girl summer. It's going to be fucking bad bitch summer.
It is bad bitch summer.
So yes. And yes, absolutely a podcast. 100% a podcast in Florida.
We'll cover listen, here's the thing is, if you think you're going to force me to do anything, no, that as an SA survivor, you will not force me to do jack shit. I will do it on my own fucking terms. And when I do it, I will wish you hadn't tried to force me. And I'm not saying, like, in regards to this case, you will wish you hadn't tried to force me, because I will make a whole fucking vacation out of it.
Oh, it's gonna be such a good
I'm not
time.
scared.
And
We'll have a podcast. We'll just have a great fucking time.
You could even set up our podcast right in front of the courtroom.
I'm telling you, will. I mean,
Oh
it'll
my
be
God,
part of the
a
whole
live
fucking
stream.
episode.
Yeah. Right in front of the courthouse. That would be good.
And I do have a very special guest that's coming with me to Florida, and I can't fucking wait.
Oh my god! So yeah, we'll live stream our podcast. We'll live stream on TikTok from like someone else's, like from my account or something, or Ashley's, and like it'll be live streamed on like everywhere.
It's gonna be good.
I can't.
That's gonna be in July, guys. I think next week we might want to do some online dating shit and have some
Oh
Say
god!
that every week.
We say that every week. And
Can
then
we
if happens,
please?
Dumb shit happens every week. And
I am not kidding
No.
you though. I was laying in bed the other night going, oh my God, I remember this guy. Oh my God, I remembered that one. And I made a little list on my phone so that I wouldn't forget of all the stupid ass dumb shits that I met online.
It's a date.
So, on that note, if you have some online dating stories, you can comment below. You can email us at wcwycw1@gmail.com or lovingsingle.co/podcast. Give us wine recommendations, glass recommendations, make comments, make suggestions for topics. If you believe you would make a great guest, we have to vet the guesses, but vet.
Oh my God. Let me help you with that. We have to vet the guests.
Guests.
Yes. Yes.
Guests.
Shit. How much wine did you drink?
It's not the wine. It's my own whatever.
Oh my.
I'm telling you, it has been a week of fuckery. Okay. Away from TikTok, it has been a week of fuckery that I am unwinding from.
Winding from.
So, yeah, if you think, hey, I would make a great guest, I have a story to tell, we will vet guests, but put it in the comments as well. And we want to hear from you. We love hearing from you guys.
Mm-hmm.
You're muted, Heather. I don't know if it's on purpose or not. Okay.
I didn't have anything to say anyway.
Did you see your face?
Wow.
You guys. Cheers.
Cheers. Love you.
Love you.
They don't like you, but they find the time to watch everything you do.